Hi everybody, Dina here. Today I wanted to share a really good bread recipe. Now I love bread. I think almost everybody loves bread. It gets a bad rap because, let's face it, it's usually not very healthy. So I'm constantly on the lookout for a really good nutrient-dense bread. I'm always trying different recipes. I have several favorites, and this has become one of my go-tos. This is going to be a raw recipe, but you could also certainly bake this in the oven or dehydrate it in the oven. I'm going to use a dehydrator today, but I've seen several variations of this sweet onion bread recipe on the internet, and some of them can be kind of complicated. I don't do complicated too often around here. I like to keep it really easy and really quick. So we just have a few ingredients. This might look kind of intimidating, but it comes together really fast and it is worth the little bit of effort. It's not too complicated. We just have a few ingredients actually. So I just have here a large Vidalia onion, sweet onion, 1 zucchini, a cup of chickpea flour. I have a couple of sweet red peppers from out of the garden. This is optional. You could use bell pepper, or you could even use a spicy pepper, or leave it out entirely. I also have a 1/4 cup of soaked pumpkin seeds. You could also use sunflower seeds or almonds. And I have some fresh chives. And that's it for ingredients. There's no oil, there's no salt, there's no additional flavorings. Just with this, it comes out really, really tasty. So I'll just get started by chopping up my vegetables. My zucchini I'm actually going to grate. Now you could just do all of this right in the food processor and just pulse it for a couple of minutes till it's nice and chunky, but I don't have a food processor. This place is in a constant work of progress. Right now, the food processor is in storage, and I have just been doing without it. So I'm just going to hand chop all of these and shred my zucchini, and it will only take just a couple of minutes. So let me get started on that. So I thought I'd save you the agony of watching me cry over the onion. So I have it chopped. It turns out to be about 4 cups of chopped onion for that large onion. If you're using smaller onions, you might need to use like 2 or 3. But any onion will do. I just love the Vidalia. They're in season right now and they're really affordable at the grocery store. So I have most of it just set aside in my bowl to add the other ingredients. And I saved out about 1/2 cup to blend up with my pumpkin seeds. I got one on my sleeve. With my pumpkin seeds and water if I need it. So I'm just going to throw these into the blender, and I just have diced them up kind of small. You can leave them in bigger chunks or you can dice it up even finer. That's up to you. Either way works, and it's delicious either way. In the dehydrator and in the oven, the onions will kind of caramelize and get really sweet, so it's really good. All right, so also into my blender, I forgot to mention, I am going to put just 1 tablespoon of chia seed. You could also use flax seed in here just as a little bit of a binder. And it's not necessary to soak them first since we have liquid going in. And I'm going to add just a little bit of water, about a 1/4 cup of water. So there's a lot of moisture in the onion and the zucchini, so we don't need a lot of water. Plus our pumpkin seeds have been soaked. So in with my pumpkin seeds, and I'm just going to set that aside while I shred up my zucchini. Right into the bowl with my zucchini. It's all sticking to my hands. That's okay. And I'm just going to dice up my pepper. Okay, chop up these fresh chives. I am always looking for ways to use these fresh chives. They just grow so well, and they will grow here almost year round. So that's nice to always have them available. And you can grow them even if you have just like a little balcony space or a sunny window. You can grow them in a container and they'll do really well. That's the great thing about herbs. Most of them grow really well in a pot, in a container, inside or outside. So highly recommend growing your own fresh herbs. Start with basil, chives, super easy to grow, super easy. So I'm just going to give that a quick little mix on our veggies there before we add our other ingredients. This already smells really good with the pepper and onion in there. And if you would like, you could probably add some garlic in here. I haven't, and I think it turns out great without it. But if you really love garlic and you have it available, I'm sure it would be tasty. Or you could even use just garlic powder. But like I said, I was keeping this one just simple. All right, that looks beautiful to me. Let me go in with our chickpea flour. You could also use, instead of chickpea flour, you could use almond flour or walnut flour. You could probably even use oat flour. All of those would be good alternatives. But I have some chickpea flour in there that needs used. So that's what I'm going with today. I'm just seeing how much moisture is in the vegetables and seeing if I need to add any water. So I'll mix this up pretty good before I add my pumpkin and chia seeds, and we'll see if we need any water after that. I don't think we'll need any extra water, but we'll see. This is looking really good. So I'm just going to blend this up and get this in here also. All right, all blended up and just going into the bowl. And that's how liquidy it is without adding any. I think there was about a 1/4 cup of water in there. We're going to see if that's enough. It really all depends on how much water is in your veggies, how much water is in that onion, and how humid it is really on the day that you're doing it. It can vary a little bit, just like with baking. So get that in there. What you're really looking to see is the texture of the dough. So, and don't be intimidated. If you don't get it perfectly right, that's fine. It'll take a little less time or a little more time to dehydrate or bake, that's all. It's no big deal. That's one of the things I love about raw breads and making things in the dehydrator. It doesn't have to be perfect. There are so many things you can do with it, and it will turn out good either way. Might take a little bit more time if you add too much water, but generally it's fine. All right, this is looking good. It's a nice, like, thick, almost like a fritter type texture, which would probably be really good too. You could probably chop this up a little finer, chop the veggies up a little finer, and make little veggie balls or fritters. You could do that in the dehydrator or the air fryer, I think would be a good idea. I might have to test one and check it out. I haven't tried that yet. All right, so that looks perfect. Scoop those aside. And I just have my dehydrator trays, which I have lined with parchment paper. I have this old brown dehydrator, which is still working for me. It takes a little bit longer than some of the newer square or rectangle dehydrators, but if you have one of those, you'll just need to use a parchment paper or your silicone mat to lay out to spread the bread on. But I have my round one here and it works and it's good. So I'm just going to go with that. To go in with a big scoop. You want this to be kind of thick because it's bread, right? We're not making wraps, we're making the bread. So I'm going to spread it out pretty thick because as it dehydrates, it will shrink, and you don't want it to be too thin because it will just kind of fall apart. So I'm going to spread it out about 1/2 inch thick. 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick. And I'm making 2 large breads here. You could make smaller ones like sandwich size, but I'm just going to make large ones here and cut them up later. Either way works, either way turns out fine. The large ones just take a little bit more time, but I'm gonna be busy doing stuff all day and I've got time. It's pretty early now, so I've got time to just let it kind of hang out in the dehydrator. Or you could do this the night before and let it dehydrate overnight. All right, and that is what we're looking for. I'm going to finish up this one and pop them in the dehydrator. I'm going to let it dehydrate for probably about 4 to 5 hours and then flip it over for another probably 3 to 4 hours, but we'll see where it's at. I never like to give a specific time because it's really going to vary depending on the humidity level and your specific dehydrator. I just wanted to show you that I did try a little fritter size with leftover batter in the air fryer, and it looks like it came out amazing. So I just want to give it a try. I'm just going to top it with a little bit of some cashew cheese sauce that I had in the refrigerator and a little bit of parsley. Looks yummy, right? Let's check it out. Let's give it a try. Delicious. After about 9 hours in the dehydrator, we have the finished raw version of our bread, which, guys, this turned out amazing. So amazing. This is a perfect bread alongside a raw soup like a gazpacho or a big rainbow salad, or just for your favorite sandwich. I am making a Southern classic here, which is my all-time favorite sandwich. It is just some raw vegan mayo made from sunflower seeds and fresh heirloom tomatoes, which I cannot get enough of this time of year, and some salt and pepper. That's it, perfect as it is. I hope you will give it a try and let me know what you think. As always, I truly appreciate you watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!